Before I start the video, I just want to say that do not dislike the video instantly and watch the entire thing before giving your thoughts and opinions about the video, that's all. Hello everyone, it is Lance the King here, and today I'm gonna be talking about stans. I don't want to use my own voice because crap voice and mic, so I'm gonna be using a robot voice. Anyway, let's head right to the topic. This video is in multiple parts. What are stans, the good side, the bad side, the problems that needs to be addressed, and the speculative percentage of how many are good and bad within a community. Timestamps in the pinned comment. What are stans? Stans are pretty much stalker and fans, making it stans. The first time stans, or stan have been brought up was in a music video of Eminem called Stans, where a person named Stan was being very obsessive about a star, and he would spend all his time wanting to be with him, and sacrificing his entire life just for him. Dream has a interestingly different meaning for stan or stans, but I will just use good stans and bad stans for the sake of simplicity. Now time for the good parts of the stan community. Fan art and animations. The fan art of the community are very beautiful to see and appreciate, and I'm mostly talking about the Dream community with their fan art and drawings. No disrespect to K-pop stans though, the drawings are great. Now for the animations, they are incredibly great to watch and would watch them on repeat, mainly Sadist and other MC animators there that make these very beautiful art. These wonderful people put a lot of effort into their drawings and animations, which I highly appreciate, but there's also some other type of fan art I will talk about later. Supportive people. What do I mean by this? Well, I'm talking about the fact that they would subscribe to many content creators, giving them a job and money that they well deserve from their efforts, meaning that stans are able to give people a good life from their support, like rating other small streamers and giving them donations and such, or subscribing to small MC animators and alike to give ad revenue and positive messages. This is something I enjoy to see, and hope happens more often. Now then, all of that was good and all, but let's talk about the other side of the coin, the negatives. Toxicity. Everyone knows what I mean by that, specifically on Twitter. The very recent drama of TommyInnit, a British 17-year-old YouTuber, yes, 17, was being harassed and criticized for something so stupid. The clip was just him being happy and excited that he has a lesbian fan, and it was epic. Here's a clip, and I will link the video in the description.
Was like, hi. I was like, oh, hi. And then she opened up a notepad, and it had oh my god, it was, no, this is so cool. It was so cool. It was all on the same day, might I add. Only like 20 minutes later, she came up to me and was like, oh my god, I love you. I was, thank you. And I got a photo, and then she got out a notepad, and she had like drawings of the red and white shirt. I was like, holy shit, this is so cool. This is like an actual thing that happens. And then she was like, me, and then just as I thought it couldn't get any better, she was like, me and my girlfriend love your videos. I was like, she's a shit, yes! This is so epic! And I was so, oh dude, if I literally felt so bad there was COVID, I would have given her the coolest fist bump. But I was like, holy shit, that was so cool, right? And that was so weird, because I've never seen someone just genuinely like, yeah. And that was so sick.
So yeah, apparently that is lesbian phobic. The fact that he was excited to meet a lesbian fan, I really don't understand that. I'm not gonna say much more on that. I'm just saying Twitter's really stupid.
Some people decide to call him homophobic/lesbian phobic, which if I'm being honest is very stupid. It went so badly that he needed therapy for all the drama that happened, and he's not exactly a crybaby. He's a normal 17-year-old guy who works hard for making content on YouTube and Twitch, while also juggling college. He clearly doesn't deserve any hate. Good on Moist and his fans for defending Tommy.
I'm just thinking about Twitter and like, you know, are people angry at me because this? I didn't mean that, but I don't want to say that. I want to communicate that. It's just stressful and it's not fun and it upsets me a lot, you know? Like a lot, like... And I know it's not about me, and I know that I know that the points about these issues and the shit everyone makes is really important and it's cool. But I don't know. I think the thing that you often forget about Twitter is that unlike secondary, if your secondary school is fucking shit, unless your parents are really, you know, cool enough that they'll let you try and transfer and stuff, you're stuck there for a few years. It's kind of like cave. But you're not stuck on Twitter. You're not stuck in any internet community. And if tomorrow you turn around and go, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do what I want. And I think a lot of Twitter ends up... So anxiety Over these past few months, I've like sort of done therapy type stuff and like that, just because I find it really helpful. It's really exciting to learn about your own feelings and stuff, and I think it's really good as well, mentally, because people don't sit and think about mental health and shit like that. But and I think a lot of it you learn is just about meeting your own needs and feeling in control. It kind of causes anxiety, is not being in control.
NSFW fan art. This mainly consists of sexual fan art and gore fan art. There was another drama relating Tommy in it where people made sexual fan art of him. Tommy himself said he was uncomfortable of it, but some of the stans ignore it and made more sexual and gore fan art, and Dream had to step in, but not in a sense that you would think.
Quickly, on me, and I speak for me and Turbo and everything, all this, I've not been on Twitter very much over the past week, and it has been great, but boys, any of this not safe for work, like sex-related fanfic, whatever that is on the Wattpad or on Twitter, I am not comfortable with that, and I do not endorse it. I just thought I'd have to say. I thought it would have been obvious because I'm a child, but I thought I'd just let you all know. Because I haven't ever formally said.
Dream has took to Twitter heavily defending himself. I've said this before, but don't ship creators that are uncomfortable with it, and especially not minors. It's disgusting to draw not safe for work stuff about minors or anyone that hasn't explicitly said it's fine. Also, I'm not a minor, and no one that has ever been in any of my videos ever is a minor. Yet somehow, this is my fault. With 16 million subscribers, that's 1 out of every 480 people in the world that are subscribed. There's bound to be thousands of terrible people, but there's also bound to be millions of great ones. If you're looking for hate or disgusting stuff, you'll find it. Stop looking. People will go out of their way and spread gore or not safe for work stuff from a tweet with 5 likes to show how bad it is and spread it 10,000 times more than the gross person who made it in the first place. And if you do see it, report, block, and move on instead of spreading it.
Sure, Dream said that he doesn't support the NSFW fan art, but at the same time he's still defending his stance, saying that it would only be 1 out of 480 people, but it's still your fans. Even if it was 1%, it would still be a large amount, and I will talk about the speculative percentage later. Dislike bombs. Yeah, this needs no explanation and is pretty self-explanatory. Addressing the issue. Dream sometimes doesn't do so well in terms of addressing it. While he does disagree or hate some of the actions, he still doesn't fully condemn them and just says that it's just a small percentage of his fan base. Dream should at some point try and just condemn all actions done and be more strict, while also not trying to say sorry to everything that isn't meant to be cancelable. Percentage of good and bad. This is mostly just speculation and assumption, but I will try to make it somewhat accurate. I will also be using one more fan base in an example. Dream has 23.4 million subs, to make the math simpler it will be 23 million subs. Now then, a Dream stan and Mr. Beast stan that I sort of remembered, I think his name was JA Player, said that around 5 to 10% of Dream stans and generally other stan bases are the toxic ones, while the rest are just normal stans, so I will be basing it off there. Here's the first pie chart, assuming that it is around 10% of the stan community, which seems like a bit of a stretch, but it's an example. 10% equates to 2,300,000 toxic stans, which is a lot. That equates to more than all of these countries' population, just right below Botswana, and this isn't with the extra 400k subscribers. Here's the second pie chart, assuming that it is around 5% of the stan community. 5% equates to 1,150,000, it's much less, but it's still a lot. It would equate to be slightly lower to the military personnel of the United States and above that of Russia. Here's the third pie chart, assuming that it is around 1% of the stan community. 1% equates to 230,000, still a large amount of people that can easily overwhelm countries if a civil war were to happen and they tried to push. Here's the final pie chart, assuming that it is around 0.05% of the stan community, which seems incredibly low. 0.05% equates to 11,500, sounds small in comparison, but it's still a good amount of people who would rampage on Twitter and YouTube comments. Now it's time for other communities. K-pop stan community is interesting, because there's no real definitive answer, which makes things more difficult, but I will take the 350 million to 2 billion estimate, going for around 600 million instead. I also heard from a YouTube comment that at best it's around 30%, and this is coming from another K-pop stan by the way in the YouTube comments. Here's 30%, 10%, 5%, and 1%. Now then, for the rest of the communities, if you want to do a percentage estimate you can easily Google it yourself and not need a graph. And also, since you're at the end of the video, you might have enjoyed it, maybe hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications if I ever upload in 20 years. Check the Discord while you're at it, and all clips in the video will be in the description. Goodbye.